Steffi's comment about Hope staying away from her husband had me laughing out loud. Throughout Hope's marriages to Liam and Wyatt, Steffy consistently spent inappropriate amounts of time with Hope's husbands, constantly bad-mouthing Hope to them. It's ironic to see Steffy now experiencing the same feelings she inflicted on Hope for years. At least Hope isn't intentionally doing it to Steffy yet. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. Steffy has managed to ruin her relationships with Liam and Thomas. She's even cheated on Finn by kissing Liam, but continues to spend significant time with him. It's clear Steffy exhibits narcissistic tendencies. I couldn't help but exclaim, "The nerve of this woman." I then witness Steffy telling Finn that Hope keeps bringing up Sheila. When did that happen? Steffy seems to be losing her grip. Later, she instructed Finn to think twice before defending Hope again. How does she expect to maintain a relationship if she continues to dictate what others should think, do, and feel? It's delusional behavior. Steffy is arguably the most problematic character on the show, almost like a villain. She instigates and confronts people over imagined issues, making her toxic presence felt throughout. Hello everyone, welcome back to my new channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. However, Steffy's kisses with Liam in Rome and afterward, are Finn ever going to find out about those? It's frustrating how those kisses were kept secret while everyone criticized Hope and Thomas's relationship. How can Steffy preach sanctimoniously when she hasn't been honest with her husband for almost a year? She also cuddles with Liam and lets him badmouth Finn, yet she's losing her cool over Finn and Hope, simply touching hands and talking. It's ironic. And let's not forget all those declarations of love Liam keeps making. Steffy is starting to resemble old Brooke in that regard, but people seem unwilling to see the similarities. The problem with those kisses is that Steffy concealed them from her husband and dwelled on them repeatedly. If she felt nothing, why not be upfront with Finn? He knows Liam still has feelings for Steffy after all. Steffy should have pulled away immediately, but she didn't. She kept the moment going without hesitation. While Liam initiated it, Steffy bears some responsibility for not stopping it and for not getting upset with Liam. She isn't blameless just because Liam made the first move. Unless Liam physically prevented her from withdrawing, she could have ended the kiss right away. And if she's truly innocent, why couldn't she be honest with her husband about it? On the other hand, hey Katie, please knock before entering. She really has some nerve just barging into Bill's house. I'm used to everyone walking into Eric's home, Steffy's place, and all the offices, but this is just ridiculous. What's with her sudden concern for Bill? They've been divorced since before coronavirus. He tried to reconcile, and she turned him down. Now suddenly, she acts like they're still married. Bill must have an open-door policy considering last week Lai did the same thing. It's amusing how she still believes she has some claim on him and that her adult son needs protection from finding out he has a half-sister. Moreover, what would it take for Hope to be as ruthless as Steffy? I've seen comments likening Hope to Brooke based on her thoughts alone, as if controlling one's thoughts equates to pursuing a married person physically. It's quite amusing. While my sympathy for Hope has waned since her Thope SL, I still believe she's far superior to the bully that Steffy is. It's infuriating that someone as morally compromised as Steffy feels entitled to slander Hope and criticize her mother, despite Taylor's own history of promiscuity and criminal behavior. For Hope to reach Steffy's level of malice, she would need to shadow Finn and constantly undermine Steffy, telling Finn he deserves better while attempting to seduce him, occasionally in lingerie, a tactic Steffy used with Owen, Oliver, Liam, and Bill when they were taken. If Finn and Steffy were at odds, she should threaten Steffy to make amends with Finn or else she'll seduce him herself, explicitly offering herself as a substitute for Steffy. Attempt to intoxicate Steffy when alone with Liam, hoping they would end up in bed to eliminate Steffy and secure Finn for herself. Form an alliance with Sheila to scheme and break up Steffy and Finn. Consistently provoke Steffy by bringing up Taylor's past and making pointed comments. Make overt advances on Finn in front of Steffy and dismissively tell her to get over it. Optional. Trap Steffy in a gondola and force her to witness her and Finn's wedding, then mockingly dismiss her objections. If Hope were to engage in all of these actions, then I might consider her on par with Steffy. Until then, she remains the morally superior woman, and Steffy has no grounds to hurl insults at her. You know what bothers me. I used to think Steffy had matured after becoming a mother, but reflecting on it, she's never shown remorse, regret, or offered apologies for the havoc she wreaked on Hope's life, ruining weddings, pursuing Liam shamelessly, or using derogatory terms against her. Not once. Sure, she may not do those things anymore, but can one truly claim personal growth without remorse? I'm not excusing any interference Hope may have had in Steffy's relationships with Liam, but she's never acted with the vindictiveness that Steffy directed towards her. I hope someday they can sit down and have an honest conversation to truly resolve their issues. A truce for the sake of the kids clearly isn't enough. They both remain hurt and resentful, and that won't change until they address it properly. On the other hand, oh, come on, Katie. Why are the writers portraying her as so snobbish? It's not even her house, and Bill isn't around, so yes, she should just leave. Now suddenly she's not with Carter, and she's making an issue out of Bill moving on. It's ridiculous. The actress has so much potential, yet B&B seems to be reducing everyone's characters. And all of a sudden, she and Carter aren't together anymore, without even a breakup scene. Disappointing. Carter is a really talented actor too. Are the writers upset with the show or something? However, what do you think was the turning point in the show? Personally, I believe that after coronavirus, B&B began relying excessively on flashbacks and developed storylines too slowly, which has never been their strong suit. It often takes them 3 episodes to complete a single conversation, despite having a relatively small cast. In comparison, shows like Y and R and GH maintain better pacing and more engaging storylines. I feel there has been a gradual decline in the writing since Stephanie's death. The writers became overly dependent on her character for storylines. And since then, they have struggled to consistently deliver compelling narratives. Of course, coronavirus further disrupted any momentum they had built. Watching the show has become nearly impossible without fast-forwarding through repeated dialogue, where the same sentences are often repeated 20 times. Additionally, there seems to be a noticeable decrease in the number of shooting locations, suggesting budget cuts affecting production quality. Undoubtedly, the show was at its peak in its first 10 to 15 years, but it continued to be compelling into the 2010s, in my opinion. However, I noticed a decline starting around 2019 or early 2020, just before the coronavirus hiatus, which exacerbated the situation. I fondly remember some of the storylines from the 2010s, such as Wyatt's introduction, particularly his relationship with Hope and Liam's jealousy, Quinn's character arc, the Steffy, Bill, and Liam paternity storyline, Quinn's kidnapping of Liam, and the dynamics involving Rick and Maya. However, the introduction of Flo and Shauna marked a downturn for the show. Subsequently, there has been excessive recycling of plots and overall poor decision-making in the writing, leading to a decline in quality. Additionally, but Mom, his touch is so incredibly soothing. Many of us cherish our mothers, whether they're still present in our lives or not, but I can't fathom even in a close mother-daughter relationship going that far, haha. Granted, this isn't your typical mom we're talking about. She did have a child with her other daughter's boyfriend, among other less than maternal adventures. However, Hope's admission about Finn's healing touch and her nonchalant explanation seemed rather unrealistic. Hope getting lost in thoughts about Finn again really amused me. Brooke must be in a panic about what this could mean for her and Ridge. Otherwise, she'd probably be advising, follow your heart, right? Hope appeared incredibly awkward during that conversation with Brooke. The dialogue on B&B always uses full names, pronouns, and my husband in such a peculiar way. It's as if the writers can't quite imagine how it will sound when their characters say it aloud. Though Hope's discomfort is somewhat amusing to me. I'm guessing it's a blood clot or a brain tumor, fingers crossed. Moreover, Hope, you do realize that if Finn cheats on Steffy with you, he won't be the perfect man you believe him to be. Her recent dialogue criticizing Liam and Thomas was completely hypocritical because, to be honest, she hasn't been true to herself either. She's searching for a flawless man when she herself isn't flawless. Finn isn't the man she envisions him to be. He'll be another man torn between two hearts because despite their issues, he's repeatedly declared Steffy as the love of his life. So this little prairie chick with a bad haircut, still living on her mother's property in a cabin at her age won't change that. She should take Finn's offer to set her up with one of his colleagues, reconcile with Liam, or wait for Thomas. Otherwise, she should seek therapy because Finn isn't her guy. Hope has been sounding quite irrational lately. Wasn't she just criticizing Steffy for influencing Thomas to leave, and now she's fantasizing about another man, a married one, and desiring him? She needs to pick a lane and stick with it before she crashes hard. I'm glad Brooke isn't indulging in her nonsense. Brooke understands the consequences of such thinking all too well, and Hope should listen to someone sensible because she's not prepared for the fallout. On another note, I don't think she actually wants Finn to cheat. That's why she's conflicted and praises his loyalty to Steffy. She might fantasize about it, but I believe she envisions him being to her what he is to Steffy, not stealing him away. Yes, things are messy for her right now, but I disagree with how some people are interpreting the situation. Also, it's worth noting that Hope hasn't made any advances towards Finn. She's simply daydreaming, which isn't a crime. Yet, if she were actively pursuing him like Steffy did with Oliver, Liam, or Bill, then wanting a man without a divided heart would indeed be contradictory. It's absurd how Hope, who broke up her family because of division between her and Steffy, is now not only thirsting after a married man, but specifically one married to Steffy. It's difficult to take her character seriously in this regard. What a farce! On the other hand, if I were writing this show, I'd have Hope face a medical issue that explains her behavior, hallucinations, and fantasies. She undergoes brain surgery, which alters her feelings towards Liam, Finn, and Thomas. Post-surgery, she must learn to navigate life without revolving around a man. Perhaps she experiences a breakdown and realizes she doesn't need any of them. Just like Steffy's struggle with addiction, Hope's breakdown could be natural. Maybe she goes on the run with Sheila for a while, anything to make her character more intriguing without focusing solely on a love triangle. A brain wipe, as you mentioned, could unfold over several months. She could reconnect with old friends from Paris and explore new interests. Another twist could be that she has a breakdown but finds solace in something unexpected: kittens. She rescues a group of abandoned kittens and discovers fulfillment in caring for them. This leads her to question Finn's effectiveness as a doctor compared to her nurturing role with the kittens. She might even find comfort in Andrea Bocelli's music. This storyline could inject some much-needed complexity into her character, transitioning her from being perceived as boring and innocent to someone undergoing significant personal growth and exploration. However, Steffy appeared genuinely reflective after Finn's suggestion to break the rivalry cycle. How would you all react if Steffy extended an olive branch, only for Hope to still pursue Finn? Given the show's history, this scenario would likely endure as long as the Taylor or Brooke truce, brief and fraught with tension. It's Brooke's persistent criticism of Hope's choices and emotions that bothers me. It seems the more Brooke disapproves or denies something in a teenager's life, the more they seek it out. Brooke has always been inconsistent. Now, it feels like every other scene will feature Brooke interrogating Hope about her relationship with Finn. Surely there must be more eligible men in lay. On one hand, it could signify growth for Steffy, but on the other, it might be seen as too little too late. After nearly 15 years of rivalry, Steffy choosing the moment when Hope considers sinking to her level to propose a truce would appear self-serving, aimed at avoiding repercussions. If the writers approach it from this angle, I might find myself feeling something other than disdain for Steffy for once. So I suppose I'd feel saddened, but more for the messy portrayal of Hope's character than solely for Steffy, although it would also be regrettable from her perspective. Additionally, dear writers, how many times have we been convinced that Sheila died, only for her to miraculously return? In soap opera land, coming back from the dead is practically normal. Bring food back to put Steffy in her place. Yes, it's been 16 years since she supposedly died in Ridge's arms, but even Taylor has made a return from the dead. Do it. Personally, I'd prefer to see Food return so we can witness her bonding with her brother and sister. If the show continues to highlight the Forresters versus Logans dynamic, having more than one person on the Forrester side at a time would make sense. Instead of constantly depicting a 1 versus 6 scenario, with Thomas and Steffy alternating as the lone one, bringing Food back could add depth to the Forrester family dynamics. Moreover, to me, Poppy is coming off as disingenuous. Are we really supposed to believe she's been in love with Bill since one drug-induced night at a festival? Please. It seems more likely she's infatuated with Bill because of who he is, a handsome, incredibly wealthy man, and that at-home paternity test administered by Lay, something doesn't sit right there. I'm not sure what it is, but it feels off. Poppy and Luna are rushing to insert themselves into the Spencer family far too quickly. Despite Bill's invitation for them to move in, Poppy should have stepped back and prioritized giving Luna space to develop a relationship with her father without her interference. It's clear she hasn't worked anywhere, so perhaps that's why she's clinging to the Spencer name and lifestyle. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.